Today, I'm going to explain a horror sci-fi movie called Circle. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie opens as a young woman wakes up in a strange room where several other people are standing in a circle. She calls out, but everyone else seems to be in some sort of a slumber. The woman then tries several things. She tries to move forward, backwards, and even reach out to touch a soldier next to her. But every time she extends beyond the red circle underneath her legs, a harsh buzzer sounds off. Suddenly, a man from the other side of the room tells her to stop moving. He points out that someone is monitoring all of them closely, but doesn't have any further information. Another woman soon wakes up and immediately begins to flop around in a panic. The man tries to calm her down, but she is so stressed that she walks out of her circle. Nanoseconds later, a beam of electricity shoots from the middle of the circle, killing her on the spot. This is when the lights come on and everyone in the room wakes up. We see that there are about 50 people in this strange room. They have been arranged in two concentric circles around a black dome placed in the center. While everyone else is panicking, a young Asian man figures out that he can control the lights on the floor. There are several arrows on the ground, one each for every person in the room. The Asian man closes his right fist, which makes the lights stop in front of a woman. Seconds later, the electric current from the central dome zaps her to death. After realizing what just happened, the Asian guy tells everyone about the lights on the floor. The people soon realize that they can only see the light which they can control. In the meantime, a pregnant woman in the front row figures out more about what is happening. She realizes that the beeping sound comes on every time they close their fists, in an interval of around 2 minutes. The electricity then zaps one member in the room. She yells out that they're actually voting and choosing who dies by closing their hands. The pregnant woman also mentions that voting the already dead or not voting at all won't work. In such cases, the central dome simply kills people at random. Suddenly, a young guy in a checkered jacket tells everyone to quiet down. He suggests they develop a strategy to figure out what's happening and stop it. Rather inhumanely, he proposes that they should all vote to kill the older people first. This will give them at least 2 minutes between each kill to figure things out. A few minutes later, the first old man, who is 82 years old, gets zapped to death. Everyone is horrified, but they quickly move on and discuss their next move. They ask the soldier if he knows what's happening, perhaps an alien invasion, but he's just as confused as the rest of them. Then, a young guy dressed in a black shirt starts speaking about what he remembers before waking up there. He recalls being stuck in a traffic jam and then running away from Los Angeles before everything went dark. Their conversation is interrupted as the beeping sound starts once more. Like previously discussed, they vote and kill the second oldest person. Afterwards, a third old person, who is next in line, claims to remember something, perhaps the aliens, how they spoke, and what they looked like. Several people think he's lying to save himself. They had green wieners. Green noses. Wieners for noses, but just kill me. And seconds later, he gets zapped anyway. Despite all the elderly being electrocuted to death one by one, they have managed to gather no substantial information. The Asian guy thus asks who will be next, and everyone looks at a woman in a hat, asking her age. She tells them she's 52, and reveals she had recently defeated breast cancer. The checkered jacket suggests she should go next, since she's more likely to die anyway. However, a black woman who is a doctor by profession quickly points out that that is not true. Jacket guy argues that anyone over 50 should be eliminated, but others disagree. The jacket guy continues to speak, so the others end up zapping him to death. After a brief silence, the cancer survivor suggests they start figuring out why they were chosen to be in the circle. Most people are reluctant to say anything, but a man from the back row volunteers. He says his name is Craig, before others remind him not to share their names. He then reveals that the woman on his left is his wife, and pleads with the group not to kill her. A guy asks if anyone else knows each other, and a middle-aged man says he knows the female doctor. However, the two refuse to share what the relation between them is. The beeping continues, and another person is zapped out randomly. Following this, the group turns to a Hispanic man, but he doesn't speak English at all. A woman behind him offers to translate, and after a bit of conversation, she reveals that the man is from Mexico and has 3 daughters. This prompts a man in a red tie, who is a lawyer, to start a conversation about illegal immigration. Due to the incessant pressure from a few others, the translator asks the Hispanic man if he is in the U.S. legally. The latter says he isn't, but that doesn't seem to change the perspective of others, especially the lawyer. The beeping starts, but instead of the Hispanic man, a young girl in the front row gets zapped, shocking some of the group. Shortly afterwards, a cop in the back recognizes a tattooed man named Raul from the front row. He accuses Raul of beating his girlfriend, to which the latter says she got what she deserved. In a rather obvious outcome, Raul gets zapped a few minutes later. A blonde woman from the front row then theorizes that they're meant to figure out who is good and who is bad. A man disagrees, speculating that whoever captured them just wants to see people kill each other for amusement, but a blonde man supports her point, saying they are indeed deciding who deserves to live. Upon hearing this, a young man raises the topic of race. Some white participants claim that race doesn't matter in this circle, but he continues to argue. Other African Americans in the group warn him to drop the subject, fearing it will make him a target. Soon enough, a heated argument breaks out, and the cop chimes in with pretty straightforward racism. Everyone is left speechless with his behavior, and when the beeping starts again, the cop gets zapped. After this tense moment, the soldier says they shouldn't turn on each other and instead try to figure out what is happening to them. The next time the beeping starts, the pregnant woman and a man are chosen, with golden lights falling on them both. Everyone votes again, and the man immediately gets zapped to his death. Soon, the guy in the black shirt and the soldier think they should protect the pregnant woman as well as the kid. Things, however, take a twisted turn, as in the next round of beeping, both the pregnant woman and the kid are chosen. One of them is sure to die, but suddenly a guy standing behind raises both his arms, yelling out that they should both die. He breaks the rule of the circle and is thus zapped instead. Seeing the senseless death around them, a few people begin to volunteer to end their lives. An elderly gentleman walks off from his circle, and a teenager, who feels guilty about killing others, does the same. Wait, what did that guy say? He's dead now, I don't know. Next, everyone expects the soldier to volunteer, but he doesn't want to because he thinks he's sacrificed enough in his life. He recently returned from serving in Afghanistan and wants to get back to his family. Time is running out, and eventually a woman from the back walks out after saying that she lost her young son a few months ago. Suddenly, a suited man from the front row asks the blonde next to him if she's a porn star. She says no, but he keeps pushing her, questioning her character and what she does to make ends meet. The next voting round comes up, and everyone votes him out. We've all seen her videos too, man, just relax. While the blonde is crying, a middle-aged man wearing glasses says they should take into account if some of them have children. Craig says that he and his wife have a daughter, while Glasses thinks that the ones that don't have children should sacrifice themselves. Things begin to turn ugly when the lawyer asks a woman from the back if she has any kids or husband. The lawyer earlier had expressed rather conservative views about the Hispanic man too. Now, he just seems to be targeting the woman because she has short hair and dresses like a man. The woman doesn't back down, pointing out that she is a lesbian and has a wife. This riles up the lawyer even more, but he doesn't realize that the next round of voting has started. Seconds later, the voting begins, and he's electrocuted to death. After another intense debate about what to do next, the beeping starts again. This time, the female doctor and the black man, who knows her, are chosen at the same time. The duo decides to die with dignity, and together, they step out of their circles. With the numbers now dwindling fast, the conversation turns to work and contribution to society. As they're engrossed in debate, the Asian guy gets suddenly zapped. The man in the glasses keeps explaining that it's important to know who contributes more to society. Some are in his favor, while others are against judging people on the basis of their jobs. When the next round of voting comes, the translator woman is zapped. Now, most of the people think that the Hispanic man should be next, as he can't even speak in English. The man in the black shirt, however, points out the pattern in their recent voting. He says the people who would never vote for the kid or the pregnant girl are quickly getting killed off. Now that the question of sides is raised, they start counting each other to see who stands where, who will vote for the girls, and who won't. In the next round of voting, the young kid and the Hispanic man are chosen, but the latter quickly sacrifices himself. The man with the glasses once again starts antagonizing everyone, and aligns with the side that wants to kill the pregnant lady and the girl. He and the blonde guy convince the couple and the black man to join their side. However, when the kid and the man in the glasses are chosen in the next round, the majority vote for the man. The group descends into a chaos of argument, but the beeping doesn't care whether they are ready or not. Hence, they quickly choose choose a guy with an amputated arm and buy some more time for themselves. This also gives rise to a new kind of equation. The group which wants to finish off the pregnant woman and the kid now have the majority. Turns out the black man has chosen their side and wants to vote out the kid in the next round. However, the soldier, being the de facto leader of the other group, tries to save the kid. He says they should vote for the wife to test whether the husband would sacrifice himself for her. The couple have remained neutral until now, and the soldier starts putting pressure on them. He grills Craig. Come on, Craig, saying that if he doesn't sacrifice himself, his wife may die in the next round. The voting starts, and Craig at the last second caves and agrees to help the soldier. They then switch their vote and kill the black man, effectively evening out the people on both sides. After he dies, the blonde guy grows angry at Craig and questions whether he and his wife are even married. The group also joins in, and the lesbian asks the wife what her husband's name is. In a surprising twist, she doesn't remember it, even though he said it earlier. An enraged Craig finally admits that they aren't married and tries to put all the blame on the woman. But he is killed when the next round of voting ends. 2 minutes later, the voting begins, resulting in a 5-way tie between the blonde guy, the soldier, cancer lady, the blonde woman, and the lesbian. That's one superhero squad that's gonna have trouble taking down Thanos. A quick re-vote is taken, and everyone except the blonde guy is electrocuted to death. Now, there are 2 clear leaders left. The blonde guy, who believes they should kill the pregnant woman as well as the kid, and the guy in the black shirt, who wants to save them. The voting begins once more, and everyone votes except for a pot-bellied middle-aged man. Consequently, the fake wife dies, leaving behind only 5 people. The man in the black shirt observes that the older man has not voted throughout the entire ordeal, yet managed to survive. Then, the black shirt guy manipulates the blonde guy into thinking they will all vote for the pot-bellied man. Unbeknownst to them, the black shirt guy and the pregnant girl have an unspoken agreement and kill off the blonde guy. In an act of heroism, the pot-bellied gentleman still refrains from voting, allowing himself to be zapped off next. Following this, only the man in the black shirt is left with the 2 girls. The man theorizes that maybe the aliens are conducting an experiment to understand humanity, how humans judge each other, and what matters to them. He is ready to die next, but also reminds the 2 girls that one of them must decide who gets to live. Despite being scared, the kid says she'll sacrifice herself for the sake of the baby. The black shirt guy offers to go with her and asks the kid to wait until the beeping starts. In a shocking twist, just as the kid steps out of her circle, black shirt guy votes for the pregnant woman. This causes both the pregnant woman and the kid to fall over, and we realize that the black shirt guy has successfully manipulated them. However, nothing happens, as the man is still trapped in the room. To add to his confusion, the beeping starts once more, making him think that the aliens are going to kill him regardless. But the sound soon stops, and it is then that the man realizes there is someone else in the room, the unborn baby. He must now choose between the baby, who is inside the woman's tummy, and himself. The scene abruptly shifts, and we see that the black shirt guy wakes up outside in Los Angeles. He gets back to his feet, looks up, and sees multiple alien ships in the sky. He then joins a group of similar survivors who are standing nearby, staring at the spaceships, who I guess only want the most sophisticated sociopaths left as their competition.